G'day everybody, welcome to the Cellar Edition 16, Jose.
Yeah, and another new year, another cellar.
Yep, another new year. 2022, we're back. We had a little bit of a break for a while in terms of popping the cellars out, but now we're going to keep them going every fortnight, telling you guys about what's going on in the shop, tastings coming up, releases that we've just got in, and bring out some old and rare bottles and that sort of thing, of course. Because we did have a couple of weeks of the cellar off, there's a few tastings that have loaded up, so we'll tell you all about those. But also, of course, we're at the new store now in Coventry Street in South Melbourne, and we've got a couple of really cool tastings coming up in the shop. We've got a McAllen tasting happening next Tuesday night, which will be really fun.
The first tasting in the shop.
Yeah. So celebrating the Night on Earth release and having a few really interesting McAllen.
And there will be a couple of Night on Earth for sale.
On the night too.
Yeah.
So that'll be really good. And then we've got Australia Day, so we'll have a little break for that. And then the following Saturday, we've got a Applewood Masterclass with Henry coming in. And
that's going to be lots of fun.
That's going to be a big fun tasting. So taking us through the Applewood range with some cocktails, and we're also going to get a little bit of interesting food from around the area as well. So it should be a really nice day. Those ones are in store, and we're going to announce a few more in-store ones soon, but we'll just wait to see how things are going. Obviously, with the situation at the moment, we've got to try and be safe ourselves. We don't really have everybody in here, all our staff, plus all of you guys, and risk any of us getting sick and not being able to do our day-to-day. So we'll take it easy for a little bit, but there's some really fun stuff planned for this year.
Yeah, so we got a lot of new stuff that arrived within the last 4 weeks. You know, particularly something really cool that just arrived. It's some of the 15th anniversary bottles from the Nectar drums in Belgium, and outstanding stuff, very rare stuff, you know, and just to highlight, for example, very, very, very extremely rare bottle. We got about Blair, 31 years old. This is bottle distilled in 1989. I don't think I recall seeing about Blair independently bottle for quite a very, very, very long time. It's not cheap, but it's something very extremely rare. And this is one of 89 bottles, and I think there's only like 2 or 3 left down there. So that's a good one.
Really classy, rare. And like all of these are from Mario, we come to expect from the Nectar, really seedier bottlings, but I feel like this 15 years release is just super poignant. They're all incredible whiskies. We had the fortunate task of tasting them before Christmas time with a few people. We haven't launched the products properly and put them all online. Now they're there, and it's well worth having a look and checking them out. A couple more in the range that were a big highlight in the tasting was the Secret Highland 35-year-old.
That's like Glenmorangie.
Yeah, and incredibly balanced, beautiful, delicate whiskey that can just be enjoyed. One you can have in the glass all day.
Even it's as rare to find a Glenmorangie independently bottle.
Yeah.
Or Secret Island, but you know.
Yeah, and that high age statement as well. The Ardmore 32-year-old. Now, Jose, this was possibly one of your favourite whiskies you've tasted. This is last year, I reckon.
Absolutely stunning. I would say this reminds me a lot like old style Lafroy. You know, it has this fantastic marine sato smoke. Far away from that ashy style of Ardmore. This is very saline, seaweed, umami, like absolutely stunning Ardmore. You know, one of those that I would say are close to be a classic. You know.
Yeah, one of those bottles you don't get around all that often, and probably the oldest Ardmore ever released as well. So that's another bit of a talking point there for that one. One of my favourites from the tasting was the Tormore 1988. I'm always a huge fan of Tormore, and 1988, they've got so many independently bottled Tormores from that year, and it's kind of that fight between hay, grass, above ground notes, and fruits like stone fruits, and even moving towards like candied lollies, like a jube sort of wine gum note. And the really, really sensational ones for me start off with a little bit of that sort of slight vegetalness, hay and grass, and then that sort of starts to dissipate, and you start to really get some of those sweet candy and fruit notes. And this one's got that tenfold. It's an absolutely classic Tormore 1988. And if you're going to have one of these 1998s, this would be one to go for, because it is absolutely incredible. It truly is one of my favourites. The Glen Moray there, Jose.
Glen Moray,
Stunning
another
as well.
fruit bomb, absolutely stunning. For Glen Moray, 29 years old, it's they come really syrupy, gummy bears, white flowers, absolutely sensational. And also we got a Glenkeith, 23-year-old, again another super fruity whiskey, a distillery that is not really known that much.
It's a whiskey that's super interesting, and that's why I thought we'd bring it in today and pop it in the cellar. It's obviously whiskey that's probably destined for Chivas Regal 25-year-old blend. The tasting notes of this are somewhat similar in terms of the apricots, peaches and nectarines that pop through with that sort of aromatic, piney juniper note too. And that's a bottle that was most likely destined for that blend, but I just think it's so special that it was taken out, independently bottled, and this amazing Speyside gem is showcased in that way. So these are just 6 of, I think there's over 10. And Mario has outdone himself with his 15-year release. As always, they're absolutely stunning whiskies, so well worth picking 1 or 2 and getting them on your back bar at home, I reckon. So that's the cellar bottlings for the week that we wanted to chat about, but we had to leave a little bit of time because we've got some serious tastings coming up. So the first tasting that we've got online is the Santibar tasting, which is happening next Tuesday.
And this is next Tuesday, so there's still time to buy some packs. Either get them expressly shipped or come and pick them up at the store. This is going to be an amazing tasting. And we are exhibiting basically 3 really new bottlings. And this is, I'm going to put them here at the front. These are 3 bottlings that are they are on the camera there. Basically, we've done with Zanzibar. That's you got the Bunnahabhain there. That we got 3 casks that we split between Germany, Japan, and us, Australia. So
the artwork's amazing. I'll pop it up on screen a little bit now, so you guys can have a bit of a closer look at some of the artwork. But Facino, an American
3D artist,
top 3D artist, his work's incredible, and these labels might just be some of the coolest I've seen, and the whiskey inside them is amazing. So
the detail, and they are so intricate, and the detail on the label is sensational. The Kleiner Leash, which is bottled for Shinanoya in Japan, is traditional, waxy, floral, pretty apples, jasmine, absolutely stunning whiskey. We got 24 bottles of this. For Australia. Then the Glen Grant, 24 years old, bottled for Germany. Traditional Glen Grant, very malty, very serious whiskey, rich. It's what a classic Scotch whiskey is, just flawless. Again, another 24 bottles out of this. That we have, and you got
you'd expect Jens to pick a good one for himself as well there, and he certainly has. And I'm holding the Casa de Vinos label, which is a Bunnahabhain 11-year-old, and I think over the last year or so, trying a lot of these young Bunnas, we've kind of fallen in love with how expressive they can be, how great they are in showcasing the cask style, but also the Bunna sort of distillery, singing a song of their amazing spirit as well. Super rich, massively expressive.
Sherry cask, fully matured, 11 years old, in first field sherry butt. Very big and rich, no sulfur at all. So it's like very well integrated, mild, and very delicate because it's only 50.8% alcohol. So it's one of those Bunnas that doesn't wreck your palate. It's just fantastically integrated with the spirit and the wood and the sherry all together. It's like a stunning run. This tasting is next Tuesday.
So if you want to grab a pack, I'll do it very soon, and we can express post that out, or you can come pick one up in the store. The other 3 are very senior whiskies in the tasting as well. Another 24-year-old Klein Lake, which is a Secret Highland. A Bowmore, which is amazing to be able to try this sensational bottling, which is Jens' own personal choice. Bottling 23.
Stunning, classic Bowmore, very tropical, with a little hint of smoke.
And then the 30-year-old Blair as part of their
Blair Athol.
Blair Athol, sorry. as part of their clan series. So amazing tasting. That's going to be really good. But we've got another few as well. So we're also doing a rare rums tasting. We were lucky enough as part of the last couple of shipments to receive some very, very senior and rare rums from both the Nectar and from Old Alliance.
And we can say that this year we're going to bring a lot more single cask rums.
Yeah.
Rums for rum drinkers, but also for whiskey drinkers. You know, truly unadulterated rum, no sugar added, and most of them single cask.
Yeah.
And the most important rum on this, my favorite rum of this tasting, which is quite rare to get to see, is a bottling of Caroni by Berry Brothers. So, as you guys know, Caroni is the distillery that used to exist in Trinidad. The last distillation was in the year 2000 until it closed in 2002. Caroni was the largest wooden coffee still in the world at the time it existed, and only 2 were operational. Now there's only 1 left in Guyana. But Caroni is a mythical distillery, and we are tasting a 22-year-old bottle by Berry Brothers for the Nectar of the Daily Drums also. So that's very, if you like rum, and if you like whiskey, or you like spirits, you need to taste Caroni here. They find sometimes, as the Port Ellen of rums.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The Big White Horse, and it's an amazing lineup. Guyana, Panama, Belize. There's a really great lineup of rums from right around the world. So we're going to get different profiles as well popping through, and that should be a really good tasting. It was originally going to happen on in person, but because we had a few issues, we had to go isolate and avoid certain things. We popped this online, which hopefully also gives a couple of those guys who couldn't actually come in the first place a bit of a try to be able to give that one a go. So that'll be really great. Another tasting we've got coming up, which is going to be absolutely cracking, is the Old Alliance tasting.
This is big.
Yeah.
And we're going to have the man himself, Emmanuel Dron, joining from Singapore, hosting with us the tasting. So we're not mucking around here. This is
all the heavy hitters.
So
Jose, this one is probably the one that you're most excited about.
It's hard to be excited, all of them, but this one is a bottle that I tasted around 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 maybe, when it was firstly bottled. This Kalila 35-year-old Kevin hits just for the Old Alliance. Traditional Kalila, but with again, super floral and super delicate. This is a sensational dram. Distilled in 1982. We don't get to taste Kalilas this old that often.
This is a highly rated bottle, and not that ratings always mean everything, because we all like different things, but the general consensus is that this one is probably one of the most sort of legendary 82 Kalilas.
Again, another classic in the making.
Yep.
That unfortunately we are sold out of the Kalilas, so there's none for sale.
The 43 Secrets based 73 Secrets Bayside, which is 43 years old, is probably another one that's going to be an absolute big hitter. They're kind of a bit of a tropical fruit bomb normally, but sometimes can be a little bit more subtle and delicate. So
we've tasted really many of these ones in the past, many of the different 73 bats. This is a joint bottling between the Old Alliance and Three Rivers in Tokyo. Another sensational dram, not to be missed. And the other day when I tasted a couple of drums, there were some that I haven't tasted.
Yeah.
And I came across this Balmore 28-year-old. Like, I have not tasted a Balmore of this quality for a very long time. This is a joint bottling between Jens from Zanzibar and Emmanuel from the Old Alliance. This is very close to those mid-70s Balmores. Really, really, really floral, with quite a bit of smoke, of course. We all know it's like Balmores stop to be super fruity and start to be very smoky quite on the 70s. 60s is really fruity. This is very similar to 70s Balmore, so as affordable as we can get without talking into the 5-digit numbers.
Yeah, it's a cracker. Yeah. Along with those ones, we're also doing a Armagnac from 1972, which will be stunning. Bucolic, organic barley, 2012, which is going to be stunning as well. And we couldn't do it without popping this one in. the Secret Irish 27-year-old, which, you know, if you've done one of the tastings before, if you had one of these high age statement Secret Irishes, you'll know that this dram sort of often takes the cake, and we're spoiled for choice in this tasting. It's going to be really, really sensational.
And having Emmanuel, you know, if you want to ask any questions about even his book, Collecting Scotch Whisky, you want to ask any questions about what's not what's good to buy to collect, but about like fake bottles, rare bottles, he'll be there to answer. So it's a great opportunity to have this man. Otherwise, you have to go to Singapore and catch him at the Old Alliance to ask these questions normally. So
that's going to be cracking. I'm very much looking forward to this. We've also got an Old and Rare coming up. I'm just going to pop those bottles on the screen now that are in the tasting so you can have a look at them. We'll probably have a cellar a little bit closer to Old and Rare as well. So maybe next fortnight we'll jump into the bottlings for Old and Rare a little bit more. But the one that's a big standout for me, Jose, is the Talisker 12.
The Talisker DT, this is known as Talisker DT 1970, bottled by the Distillers Agency before the company was purchased by Johnny Walker. At that time, it's an amazing classic Talisker style, very salty, marine, very light amount of heat. A style that's totally changed. It's one of those that has changed a lot on time, and this is a great way to see what the old style of Talisker is. This is a bottle today that probably is around maybe $1,500 to $2,000. So we just, you know, it's an eye opener. An affordable tasting too.
Absolutely. Really, really stunning lineup there. The Ben Nevis 20 is going to be really good. We've also got a younger Lefroy there, bottled in 2013. Bottled 2009 actually, for the Perfect Dram. An Old Alliance there too.
Glentarret 77, bottled by Silver Seal for the Old Alliance. Another stunning whiskey. I would say we also got a Little Mill, as you guys know. Little Mill, close distillery, bottle for the Nectar, stunning bottle. And with good age, this is a 21-year-old, so hopefully here we start to see all those fresh cut grass notes that Little Mill normally brings. And I just also want to mention a little bit about this Lafroy, 12 years old, which I actually think this is the closest you can get sometimes with 90s Lafroy to a really old style, because after 20 minutes in the glass, this becomes super fruity, floral, and the smoke comes on the second, on the background, right? And not to forget, of course, we got a classic Ben Nevis 1996. We all know Bourbon Cask, or Hogshead, sorry. We all know the Ben Nevis 1996. They're all stunners, and especially when you get a Bourbon Cask, which are quite rare. There's those lollies, milk bottles,
banana lollies,
pineapple, stunning.
They're super cracking. That's going to be a really, really good tasting. So be sure to grab a ticket for one or a couple of these, because there's some legendary bottles amongst these, and probably more legendary as we move into the future as well. Lastly, and I know it's got a little bit longer this week, but we had a few tastings to chat about. We're going to be doing a few more tasting sample kits throughout the year this year as well. These are not sort of guided tastings, but more do at your own leisure, and a way for us to be able to show you some bottles here that you might not be able to get if you can't always come in and taste at the shop. You can take these ones and enjoy in your own time. And this pack that we've just put only a handful of packs up is a premium Japanese whiskey sample pack, a couple of Akeshis, Chichibus, really cracking whiskies.
Kanosuke, first edition.
That we haven't had, that we've had in tastings before, and now we've made this premium pack, so you guys will be able to give this one a go.
Grow it for yourself or grow it for a friend. Comes really great package as a gift. Great opportunity for someone that likes Japanese whiskey to taste the rare stuff, the really rare and real Japanese whiskey, actually.
So enjoy those ones, and also if you're ever by Coventry Street here, we're open now and we're doing tasting flights. We've got lots of whiskey behind us, you can see open, and on the weekend it's a great spot to come and enjoy a dram. So thanks for watching the Cellar, a slightly longer one, and the first one for 2022, edition 16. Can't wait for the rest of the year and bringing you guys some amazing whiskies, because Jose, it looks like there's some pretty special stuff coming this year again.
Pretty special stuff this year.
Awesome. Well, cheers, guys, and we'll see you very soon.
Bye bye. Cool.